Okay, chat. Hey, I actually made this really embarrassing video called Dear Future Bae when I was 16, I think. Actually, let me unplug my phone. I have it right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's very cringy. Um, uh, uh, well, okay, there it is, actually. Dear Future Bae. I posted it 8 years ago, and it was actually really cringy, wasn't really well thought out. It was weird. It was just overall a disaster. It was like Hindenburg. I posted it November 5th, 2016. I had so much whiplash from like the election. I was probably off my rocker talking insane on the internet because I don't know, I was like coming out of a relationship, kind of not. It was like the ending of my relationship. I remember it was like December 31st slash January 1st. I don't know, whichever day is New Year's Eve. I remember that's like one of the things I will never forget. Like one of my not one of my, maybe more like my only off and on long term relationship ended. Um and I don't know, it was an on and off relationship. I don't have any ill, malicious thoughts about her. I still love her and care about her a lot. I'm just saying the context was I was going off the deep end because of the election and the on and off relationship. Um, I remember it. So I made this really awful video just talking stupid and incomplete sentences as I usually do, and it was just more embarrassing than usual because it was just like um a messy video that was not well thought out. It was just really weird, but I thought that as a 26-year-old, almost 27, I could recreate the video, and it's gonna sound almost exactly the same. What I've wanted in a partner has never really changed. Like, I've always wanted somebody who was like shorter than me, which is 5'5". I've always wanted somebody who was born in 1999. I've always wanted somebody like the things that I want or the things that I have always wanted in a woman. I've always known what I wanted in a woman. I made a cute little list because I love lists. I have OCD and autism, and I just love lists. I don't really utilize lists, and um that's not really relevant to anything, actually. I just love lists. But I made a list because it's cute. I love lists. I always wanted somebody who was smart, and that's like very broad. Like, you could be book smart, street smart, like cooking smart. Like, what does that mean to be smart? I've always wanted somebody who was critically smart, like critically thinks, ethics, morality, but I've never wanted to share a hobby with a partner. Like, I'm in love with learning history, American history, and world history and current events. And, let me see. I do apologize for that. My laptop was dying, and now I'm at a different angle. This is my trash can because it's sitting on top of a chair. That's not relevant either. But I've always wanted somebody who was smart but didn't share the same hobbies as me. So I'm in love with like learning government law, legislation, and American history and world history, but I've never necessarily wanted a girlfriend that shared the same hobbies as me because I don't want to sit there and like be with somebody who wants to compete with me. I've always thought that was a weird concept. One of my things is Dragon Ball Z. I've never actually wanted somebody to be like, babe, let's watch Dragon Ball Z together. Like, I want my hobbies, I want your hobbies separate. Not saying that you can't crack open a book or watch Dragon Ball Z. We can absolutely do that together. I just never wanted to feel like I was sharing a hobby with somebody that I was in love with because I thought it would have been weird because, like, you know, those relationships where they feel like they have to do everything together, like can't watch TV without the other and can't eat without the other and stuff like that. I never wanted something like that as a relationship, and I just never wanted to deal with that. So, yeah, when I say you are smart, I don't mean be like me. I love individuality, and being like me is not being yourself. I would never want to be with somebody who's like me. I hate myself because I have really bad self-loathing issues, and that's the reason why I am single, because you can't be with somebody unless you love yourself. I used to hate it when people would say that to me, and I absolutely get it now. That is something I've learned. Like, I absolutely do love somebody, obviously, but I don't think it's a good idea to be with them if I don't love myself, because I think due to my mental illnesses, I think that I would be more of a burden than a treat to be with because of my issues. I do think most days I am kind of attractive, but I don't think that I am the bread and butter, the cheeseburger, the tomahawk steak. I don't think I'm any of that. I don't think I'm anybody's type of sliced bread. I don't think so. I think that a lot of people like the idea of being with me in sexual ways, but not being with me. And I don't want to. I have hiccups. I'm sorry. I don't want to be with somebody who only sees me as a sex doll. And I don't even know what you can say on YouTube without getting in trouble. Obviously, I don't make money off of my 2 views per video, so I'm not worried about any of that. I'm just worried about getting my account repoed. Like, absolutely not. Like, please don't. Let me see. I have that I want somebody to be sweet. Like, obviously, love does not have to be transactional with me. I just want somebody who knows things about me and takes time out of their day to know things about me. I don't think that it's the end of the world to have somebody who's sweet and doesn't go through hiding their feelings and emotions because they're scared of communication. I just think I go through a lot of things, and I was also scared of communicating my feelings, but I have kind of learned recently that I think it's very important to just tell somebody how you feel rather than sitting there and hoping that they know how you feel without actually communicating that. Like, playing mind games, that's so elementary school. Like, I want to be with somebody who is genuine and just isn't a bad person. I've dated so many bad people, not many people, because I refuse to date people because I can't get over, but not plural, not multiple exes. Rather it be like the trauma they put me through, or just not being able to move on in general. Nothing crazy, or like Joe, whatever his name is. I've never watched that show, but nothing like Hailey Bieber vibes. Definitely not. Nothing like that. I want to be with somebody who doesn't embarrass me. Like, I don't want to be with somebody who gets up on social media, puts us on blast, puts me on blast, and then goes about their business like it doesn't mean anything. I think that digital footprints and social media is very important in this day and age. I don't want to be with somebody who is childish and would do that to me, because I just don't think that's the move. I want to be with somebody who is empathetic and sympathetic, because I just want to be with somebody who sees issues in the world or in the community or in America or wherever we may be in the future and just goes, wow, I really care about that, and voices that and does things, rather it be speaking about it or just doing something that would make a small, slight difference. And if this is crooked, that's weird. I apologize for that. My tripod that I'm using for my laptop is actually a blanket, because I love this atmosphere. I got the Valentine's Day thing going on. I got Barry. I got headquarters in the background. Like, I love it. I think that everything goes together. I just didn't want it any other way. I do have a tripod, but I don't want to film on my phone and upload it and it be weird. I don't know how to do that. But I just want to be in love with somebody who cares about world issues. Like, that would be hot. But I want to be with somebody who won't cheat on me, who don't doesn't do drugs, because I just don't want to be with somebody who slowly kills himself. And I don't hate people that do drugs. I used to work at a rehab, and people that are struggling and need help mean a lot to me. They just mean a lot to me. I'm sorry about that. I had a drink of water. But I would never make fun of somebody who's on drugs. I just don't want to be with somebody who risks their own life and their own safety and going to jail, which I don't agree with. I don't think you should put people that have drug addiction in jail, because I just think it ruins their life further. But I just don't want to be with somebody who I have to worry about constantly Like, I just don't want to sit here and cry and beg somebody to get help and watch them choose drugs over me. I'm not necessarily saying I've been through that myself. I just don't want to deal with it. I'm not heartless. I just don't want to love somebody who may no longer be with me. And that sounds really selfish, I guess, without going the extra 8 yards and 9 yards to say, I just don't want I just don't want to lose sleep worrying over somebody because I just want to be with somebody who's healthy. Um, Not saying you can choose to be healthy, like you can never drink, smoke, or do anything and still get lung cancer or throat cancer. I just don't want I'm 26. I don't want to worry about somebody just their demise and me not knowing. It's just very traumatic and very upsetting. I just don't want to be a part of that because there's so many downfalls of that. They can put you in jail. They I just don't want to love like that. Like I don't want to like sneak kiss you in a conjugal visit or um I just I don't it doesn't really break my heart to imagine being with somebody who's in jail. It does. I don't want to be with somebody who's a felon, but I know people have records and they are innocent. I just don't want to be with somebody who does things that could end their life. Because I worry too much about people, especially people I love. And I'm not saying that if you do drugs, you're the devil. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But anyway, segue into something less serious. I've always wanted to be with somebody who's shorter than me. That's just my thing. Like, I am 5'5". I'm really into women that are, like, shorter than me. Like, not super short, but just shorter than me. And women that can cuss and born in 1999 and speak Spanish. I speak a little bit of Spanish and I speak a little bit of English. I'm not really the brightest when it comes to either topics. I just want to be with somebody who is sophisticated. Because I think that sophisticatedness and sophisticated women, like women in suits, women that cosplay as being sophisticated by wearing a suit, chef's kiss. I'm in love with that. Like, I do not cuss, so I want to be with somebody who can cuss because who finna cuss out people who are being racist to me? I'm not gonna do it. The only thing I can do is speak to people with logic and reasoning, but I can't mix in some cussing. I potentially want to adopt kids, maybe if I find somebody who loves me enough to have kids with me, but I would never make my own kids or have my partner do that because I think the earth is dying and it's cruel and I don't want to go through that pain. I don't want to pay for anything like that. But I just want somebody who can cuss somebody out when something goes down. Like, I would love that so much. But yeah, I've always wanted to be with somebody who is short, they can cuss, they can speak Spanish and English, and they were born in 1999. This may seem like a joke or something creepy and scary and very specific, but I've always had the same type of women, like, period. I want somebody who goes on dates with me, rather it be a luxurious date or something like that. I really don't care. But I want to be with somebody who goes to the park with me, exercises with me, betters themselves with me. I just want to be with my partner 24/7. Like, I don't want to be the type of person that's not allowed to have friends or like space or controlling. I would never do that and I would never want that for myself either. But I want to go on dates. Like, it does not matter. Like, people be dogging on people for going to McDonald's for dates. Like, babe, I love McDonald's. Like, even though they're unethical, I would never go to Chick-fil-A or Cracker Barrel or somebody with like a million discrimination lawsuits. No. I would go to McDonald's. Like, I don't even care if it's like a $1 date. Like, I want to spend time together. I want pictures together. I want to show off the love that I have with somebody. I want it all. Now, I'm somebody who is really clingy, and I want somebody who loves to cuddle, is clingy, or can handle me being clingy. Like, I would not suffocate my partner. If that's like, if they didn't want that, I would not do that to them. But I'm in love with hand holding, cuddling, just touching their arm, being with them, like touching them all the time. And I think that I am too much and not enough at the same time in different areas. Very disgusting, very unattractive. I don't know. I must do something that makes women not want to be with me other than being mentally ill. That's another thing. They need to be able to deal with my mental illness, and I'm not saying it's their responsibility to deal with that. That's definitely not. I don't pay them to be my therapist or to deal with that, but you would have to be able to handle that I can't be jumpity and happy all the time. But if we were to ever have kids together, I would never be like, babe, take care of the kids. I'm depressed. I would never do that. I would always be there 100%, no matter if I'm sad or not. I will always be there for my partner and my potential kids if I ever got that serious in a relationship. I would never be like, you do the dishes, the cooking, the cleaning, and everything. I would never want to be with somebody that would be my house slave. I want to be with somebody for love and companionship. But to be with my best friend, that would be like the most beautiful thing in the world. I've always wanted that. And my last thing that I actually physically wrote down was protest. Um, I love to go out and protest peacefully against things that are going on in the world. My partner would not have to be obligated to go with me, but they'd have to like agree with me. Like, I would never want to date somebody who's Republican. Like, I don't hate Republicans, no hate to y'all. I want to date somebody who is liberal, atheist, and I'm not saying any hate to somebody who is religious. I just don't want to have somebody be like, babe, let's go to church. Like, it's fine if you want to go to church, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with Easter in a church. I don't want to deal with Sundays, 7 a.m. rolls around. Babe, let's spending time together at church. Like, I just don't want to be with somebody like being with somebody that is religious is different than somebody who is actually religious. And I'm not saying you don't have to go to church to be religious. I'm just saying or serious about your religion. I just don't want to be with somebody who is like that. I'm atheist. I think that bad things happen in the world and they would not happen if a God was real. And I just don't believe in talking snakes and stuff like that. I don't believe in Adam and Eve. I just don't want to be with somebody who is religious, period. And if I'm in love with somebody and they decide to be religious, that is totally different. I would be walking into a situation with somebody and then they turn out to be religious would be a little bit different than going out of my way to openly date everybody and anybody, and then including people that are religious. I don't hate people that are religious. What is that? I don't hate people that are religious. There's fires that happen across the river sometimes from my room. Um, Not trying to dox myself, but there are places across the river that do catch fire sometimes. So that's what I'm saying. What is that? But I just don't want to be with somebody who's like, babe, let's go to church. Like, I just don't. I've always wanted somebody who was shorter than me, born in 1999, can cuss, can speak English and Spanish, smart, empathetic, sympathetic. I made this whole list, but honestly, like I said, I've always had the same things I've always wanted in a woman ever since I was a little girl. Um, definitely would never date somebody who doesn't have teeth. No offense to anybody who doesn't. I would never date somebody who has thin lips. I would never date somebody who doesn't take care of themselves. Like, I would never date somebody who's a hoarder. I would never date somebody who is abusive. Like, DV. Like, I'm not saying you can predict that. I'm just saying I don't want that. But I would also not date somebody who is into pit bulls. I would not date somebody who is Republican. There's a lot of things. Like, there's things I want in a partner, there's things I don't want in a partner. I'm not able to date anybody first and foremost after I just spent almost 20 minutes talking about it. I just wanted to do a Dear Future Bae update. And it's like the same exact things that I said when I was a little girl, with less cringe. Less cringe, more words, more adjectives, more describing things. I I know exactly who I want. It's been the same person since I was a little girl. I'm in love with her. I don't know what the future holds for us, no matter if we get together or not. I never hate her. I will always care about her. She was my first love. Was I describing her? No, but she's like exactly my type. This is not a video about her. This is me simply saying I'm not on the market, but this is what I want in a partner. Period. Okay, bye.